Salve amici, buongiorno, buonasera, a seconda di quando vi collegate al Maurizio Baiata Channel potete godervi di questa mia breve presentazione della mia regressione ipnotica, del video della mia regressione ipnotica avvenuta tanti anni fa, 15 anni fa, doveva essere il novembre del 2010, forse un mese prima. Purtroppo la data esattamente non la ricordo. Phoenix, Arizona, uffici della Open Minds Production, laddove io ero direttore della rivista Open Minds Magazine. Come pochi altri, perché non so quanta gente si è resa disponibile per le riprese di questa cosa. Regressione ipnotica finalizzata al capire qualcosa di quello che io avevo vissuto nel 99, di questo sono sicuro. La data è settembre 1999, una intrusione nella mia vita da parte di 3 piccoli esseri grigi. Impiegai tanti anni per arrivare al 2010, 11 anni, e a essere disponibile, perché negli studi di Open Minds, della produzione di Open Minds, a Tempe, in Arizona, dove vivevo già oramai da oltre un anno, in questi studi di registrazione video, quindi studi televisivi, era stato detto dalla produzione: troviamo qualcuno disponibile a raccontare la propria esperienza di abduction. E io, amico di Ruth Hover, psicoterapeuta di Phoenix, anche lei, abitava a Fountain Hills, un posto molto bello, anche se in zona desertica. Le fontane, la grande fontana di Fountain Hills era stata costruita, era artificiale ed era stupenda, perché giornalmente partiva questo oggetto enorme, altissimo, si innalzava, non dico sino al cielo, ma quasi, e dava l'idea di essere in un deserto laddove nell'oasi ci fosse questa cosa. Guardate, lei, Ruth Hover, che mi manca veramente molto, ci ha lasciato poco tempo dopo che io sono partito da Phoenix per andare a stare per 3 mesi a Los Angeles da mio fratello Bill. Lei era la massima esperta in abduction a Phoenix. Per conto del MUFON seguiva gli addotti dell'Arizona, tutti si rivolgevano a lei. Lei era una psicoterapeuta che lavorava molto con i bambini, con le questioni di famiglia, diciamo, e conosceva molto bene la psiche delle persone che avevano subito una esperienza di contatto, anche perché l'aveva affrontata sulla scorta di quanto aveva appreso lavorando con John Mack, nel contesto della sua amicizia e collaborazione con John Mack. E noi avevamo fatto dei discorsi precedenti al giorno della ripresa e quindi della ipnosi, avevamo fatto dei discorsi e io ero riuscito, tramite lei, guardandola negli occhi, già a trovare dentro di me alcune delle risposte che mi erano rimaste ignote, non tanto del perché questa esperienza di abduction fosse avvenuta, ma direi il come e che cosa realmente era successo nel 99, quando io ho creduto per molto tempo, di averli mandati via quei 3 piccoletti che erano apparsi come dal nulla nella notte. Ho scoperto che negli ultimi anni, quando ho parlato di questa mia esperienza, avevo menzionato il fatto che fossero le 3 del mattino, invece nella trascrizione dell'ipnosi ho scoperto che erano le 4 del mattino. e che il tutto è avvenuto, per quanto mi riguarda, coscientemente nell'arco di 3 minuti. Poi dopo quei 3 minuti il coscientemente, lucidamente è venuto meno, loro hanno preso il sopravvento e le cose sono andate per come viene descritto dal sottoscritto attraverso l'ipnosi regressiva del 2010 con la dottoressa Ruth Hover. Io sono stato fortunato, io ho vissuto un'esperienza di contatto molto intensa, molto traumatica, molto difficile da collegare, da rendere anche comprensibile per la gente. E questo perché per tanti anni la mia memoria era stata pressoché cancellata, sia da me inconsciamente come repressione del ricordo, sia molto probabilmente da una serie invece di meccanismi quasi in automatico che questi esseri riescono ad indurre nel soggetto che vive queste esperienze. Attraverso le screen memories, attraverso poi, sapete, anche altri aspetti salienti quali sono. Ecco, io nell'articolo di presentazione ho detto alcune cose, l'articolo si trova sul mio blog www.mauriziobayata.com. Altre cose, ecco, altre cose, guardate, vedete? Ho fatto 2 edizioni, la prima questa con la X Publishing e questa invece che è quella ancora valida, anche se è arrivata ad una quarta pubblicazione, una quarta si potrebbe dire edizione, ma non rimaneggiata come nel caso fra il primo e il secondo, fra la prima e la seconda edizione. Potete trovare questi libri che raccontano un po' tutto, e proprio nel finale, nella parte finale, c'è la trascrizione, c'è il testo della trascrizione, ma una cosa è leggerla, un'altra cosa è vederla. Finalmente sono in grado di farvi vedere questa mia regressione ipnotica, sono molto felice di questo fatto e spero che anche voi apprezzerete quanto state per vedere. Grazie ragazzi, a presto di nuovo.
Have you ever been hypnotized
Nope.
before? Not even self-hypnosis?
Nope.
When you drink beer and watch a ball game, don't you ever get kind of,
Oh, yeah.
okay, that's hypnosis.
Dizzy? Yeah.
Uh-huh.
All right.
And actually, before you go to bed, sleep at night, when you're just sinking into that
I know what you mean. That state of
relax.
relax and going through whatever the other realm is, because I'm pretty sure that when we are starting, say, dreaming, just in the beginning is like when you're traveling and you're supposed to leave home, confident that you're going to have a nice trip. And then, you know, sometimes it could be turning not exactly as you are expecting because it's a different reality.
Well, it's fourth dimensional, and I think as time goes by, third and fourth dimension are getting kind of fuzzy in between. You know, you slide in one and out the other. You can literally close your eyes and relax and cast your own movie. And if you get to a part where you don't know what the action should be, just do the first thing that comes to mind. You don't have to be in a deep trance or hypnotized or even sleepwalking. You can cast your own movie, and the mind is such that it will grab from you whatever little pieces of experience it has to put in a movie. Because you've lived this movie before.
Right, I don't want to just revive the experience in a way, just not only a conscious, well, I believe that a conscious recall would be useful today.
You remember part of it.
I remember the beginning and not the end, actually. Well, maybe also part of the end, just a little part of the end, but I remember distinctly what happened when they show up in my bedroom.
Who's they? What do they look like?
Well, I was just asleep, but I felt a voice in my head telling me the usual, such as, Maurizio, don't be afraid. We won't harm you. So
Bullshit.
That's the beginning. And I said, where is this voice coming from? Because I was just lying down like this, asleep. My eyes were closed, and I felt the urgency of opening them. Okay, and I look on my right side, and right here, there was a cloud, yellowish in color, like creating three different silhouettes that I understood. They were composing themselves like it was dust, yellow dust, composing and in a dense aggregation of micropoints and forming three silhouettes. Immediately, since I was already into the abduction phenomenon studies, it was 5, 6, 10 years that I was studying the phenomenon. In Italy, I said to myself, here they are. They came.
They're here.
They're here. And in fact, I felt immediately a voice, again, telling me, don't be afraid, we won't harm you again. And I started communicating with the tallest one.
They became forms really early.
They became three forms.
Three forms.
Exact shapes of the typical grays. Not really gray in color, more yellowish and between
brown.
Brown, yeah, basically brown. Big slanted eyes, no expression, no facial expression, almost no nose, no mouth.
Skinny neck.
Yeah, and the tall one, the one that Betty Hill or Barney described being the doctor. All right, that guy was pivoting. Like I thought that he was fixed on an axis and pivoting toward me like this,
Did you feel scared?
I felt uncomfortable. For a second, I felt uncomfortable, and I said to him, okay. I turned a couple of times to see on my alarm clock if everything. I was really awake. I wasn't dreaming at all.
So you were going to orient yourself and look at the clock?
I was not immobilized. I wasn't in a state of paralysis. But it was only my head going and talking with this guy. Okay. So I said, okay, a minute after 4 a.m. in the morning, the point was that I go like mentally and automatically. I go, it's no good for you. And
Meaning you?
No, for them.
Oh, not good for them.
I was talking to them. I was not threatening them, but I wanted to be left alone and peacefully continue my sleep. Okay.
See, that's one thing we've learned. You can say no.
I thought I could say no, and in case they will be a little more
amenable.
Yeah, I will eventually react physically. And I thought that a physical reaction with them will scare them.
And probably hurt them, because they're real spindly.
Yeah, they looked to me, well, the tall one didn't look to me so scared at all. Now, after 11 years, I started talking about this only, I believe this happened in 1999, I believe it was May 1999. I started talking about this publicly in Italy the first time in 2004, 2005 probably. But then here in the United States, I felt very compelled. And seeing the suffering of so many people, I said to myself, if you are in a peculiar position, you're an editor of a UFO magazine in Italy, why don't you just tell them that you got the same experience? So they will recognize themselves in me, and the opposite. You know, it's a mutual exchange of something that is definitely very important, because either it really happened to you or your mind invented everything. Nevertheless, there are too many cases that I've studied personally, and many other better researchers than me, hundreds of times better than me, they concluded positively that the experience was for real. So it's good to talk openly.
Well, but probably too, there's a lot of resistance to looking at the real experience, because you're doing a service. The whole magazine, the whole business is doing a service because it will let people look at it, let people talk about it. But that's easy to do when you're talking about someone else's experience.
Third person.
Yeah.
No. When you live in that experience, it will last forever inside you, and either you just want to check on that experience, how it really was, and eventually live again the experience, or you're not just fair with yourself and also with other people.
When you think about it and look at it, if you could replay that and choose what to do, what would you do today? If you woke up tonight.
I will definitely go with them.
You would go with them?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay. Use your imagination a little bit. And they come tonight, you look at them, the dots coalesce into a little brown person, maybe 3 brown people, and you choose to go with them. Make up a story for me. Tell me where you go and what you do.
I think they're not gonna make any move toward me, because I said before that they're not, that the tall one is not scared, but I believe that he's giving orders to the others, saying just to wait and see what happens with Maurizio. Why he's so stubborn?
Why is Maurizio so stubborn?
I was reluctant because I wasn't confident that they could treat me fairly, and I knew that so many people were telling us the stories of how much they were traumatized and everything. So it was not that I was fearing the situation, but only why I have to go with you, why I'm supposed to go with you, why I'm supposed to follow you.
That's a logical response.
Yeah. And I believe that the guy said something like, or would say something like, because you need to know.
Because you need to know.
Yeah, because you need to know. Me, Maurizio. That's the point. I needed to know, and that's why they were showing up. They were showing that's why they were showing down themselves to me in their physical presence, in their physical features.
We are here, we are visiting.
Yeah.
Your magazine's on target.
Oh, yeah.
That's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It will happen in probably in 11 or 12 years, I don't know.
If you could cut the scenario the way you wanted it, like today, if you could stage it, how would you have that turn out? How would you go with them?
Yeah, I will go.
Okay,
Yeah.
Give me some imagination here. If you go with them, where do you go? How do you go?
Probably in a car.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, moving out from the villa where I was living there, and then out of Rome. It is not a very densely populated area. So at night, actually at 4 in the morning, nobody's there. So nobody will ever see me leaving the place
With them.
with them.
Where do you go? Make it any place you want.
I think they have chosen to bring me to visit other people.
Ah,
Probably in another apartment.
okay.
Yeah, in Rome, and not too far from my place.
And
Yeah.
are you doing them a service somehow?
It seems that there are people there waiting for us.
Okay.
And these guys, a couple of them are wearing classical Men in Black stuff, you know.
Oh.
Yeah.
Government goons.
Government, yeah. And there are 3 or 4 people. One is a young lady, and I think I know her. Yeah.
Or you'd like to.
I think she's a friend of mine.
Okay.
And yeah, I think she's a friend of mine, and the other 3 people that are with her sitting on this sofa, very large couch, actually 2 large chairs and a big couch in the middle, gray in color. It's dual, I'm not saying obscure environment, but it's not.
Just ordinary.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. And I'm standing there in front of them, and they're staring at me.
Is that uncomfortable for you as they stare at
It
you?
is so, because I don't know why I was,
Why me?
why I was there, and what I'm supposed to do with them, with these guys, especially, I mean, the lady I know and the other 3 that I didn't know. So they are just waiting for something, and actually, we are not alone there. Definitely, we're not.
Lots of people?
Lots of people. Is the 1, 2, 3, 4 humans I know. There are 2 non-humans, and they're just standing on each side of the sofa, like they're just directing the attention towards me. The entire group attention is toward me, and I'm standing like this, just
What
not
do I
doing
do now?
anything.
Yeah.
Not doing it.
Are you frightened?
Yeah, I feel the some chills, and my sixth sense is alive now, and the sixth sense is telling me that this is not really good.
I wish I hadn't come.
Yeah.
Is there any threat around you? That you have this sixth sense that this is not a good thing? There's 3 of them and 1 of you.
Well, the non-human beings are totally, they're standing there, they're not doing anything at all, but there is light. There is light in the room that is coming from the ceiling, and this light is poured down in the center. Okay, I'm watching the light. It's in front of me, and it's creating a cone.
Are you standing there or
I'm
you're
standing.
sitting? You're
I'm standing. Yeah, I'm standing. The other people are just watching like an amphitheater. They're watching the spectacle of me engaging this light.
That
The
doesn't
light
feel
is
very good.
doing. It's a cone of light. It's a beam. And now I feel that the voice, the same voice of the big, tall one, is telling me to get connected to the light.
Get connected to the light.
Yeah. Feel a connection to the light. And even try to talk to the light, which I could not do it,
You chose not to.
probably. Yeah. The light is pulsating. It's not fixed anymore. It's pulsating, it's glowing and pulsating.
Hurt your eyes or not?
No,
Okay.
no. All right.
You get kind of resistant at that point.
Yeah, but now I feel a little more comfortable. And I think the light and that type of pulsating rhythm of the light created a state of calm and relaxation on me. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So they provided me to lay down on the floor, meaning that they said, somebody's grabbed me my shoulders
From behind you.
from behind, and they're very gently pulling me down. I mean, push me down, pulling me down like
Yes.
this. So I'm.
But not harshly.
No. Not
Okay.
at all. I'm comfortable. I'm very
Okay.
comfortable. Okay.
Now you're down on the floor.
Now I'm down on the floor, and so I cannot see anymore. I'm just watching the ceiling.
Is the light coming from the ceiling?
Not anymore. I don't see any more light.
Okay.
No.
Okay. And if you could make a movie of this, what would happen next? Any way you wanted.
I really don't know what to do.
Are you fairly comfortable there, laying there on the floor?
Not too much.
Are you wondering what they're doing?
Yes.
Can you feel them around you? Do you smell anything? Smell.
No.
Okay. Your eyes are shut. What do you think they're doing while you lie there on the floor?
I think they need to have me totally ready and available for something they need.
That sounds reasonable.
Yeah. I won't even ask at this point because...
Do you have a secret feeling that it might be something we don't talk about? That it might be sexual?
No.
Okay.
I think that it does affect, in any case, is affecting my guts here inside. No other parts of my body are in a way touched. I sense a feeling of discomfort. Now, it could be that it's because in 1971 I had an accident, a motorcycle accident. I was almost dead, and I had an OBE experience, an NDE experience too. And the operation I underwent was in my stomach.
Sounds like maybe your mind has embroidered the three events, and they all kind of intertwine and overlap, and memories of one incite memories of the other.
Oh, now that you mentioned, yes, could be.
Mm-hmm.
Well, because the uncomfortable position of being, grounded to the bed in the hospital in 1971 and grounded to the floor right now is just very similar.
Very similar.
Yeah.
And when you were grounded to the bed in the hospital, was there a fortunate outcome to all of that? Did you have surgery?
Yeah, thank God. I felt so bad and the pain was so terrible since I had injuries inside. And I was dying. I know I had peritonitis. They told me afterwards, so I was going to die. And
serious.
Yeah, it was serious, very serious. All the blood was flooding my stomach and everywhere. Now,
see how reasonable it is that a similar experience gets blocked? That was not fun.
No, it was blocked for many, many years.
Mm-hmm.
I totally blocked for many years.
Well, the two experiences are very similar. You're helpless, you feel badly, you're lying out flat,
I feel cold.
Yeah.
I feel, physically, I feel a sensation of
cold.
yeah.
Probably you were very close to death at that one time.
Yeah, I know I was. I definitely know.
Makes sense that you would not recreate it then when you're going through the same thing with your three friends.
Yeah, yeah.
Even though you're on the floor and your eyes are shut and you're feeling badly, do you have any sense of where they are? Behind you? Next to you?
I feel two are still behind me. One, I can't see him anymore. And also the other two, I just feel their presence.
Okay, they're behind you.
Yeah. Also, I don't see anymore the others around. I mean, the humans sitting on the couch. I don't see anything at all. In other words, it's all dark.
It's erased.
Yeah, it's all dark around me. There's no light anymore anywhere.
And it's linked to the message and the events of your surgery at a later time. The two are very similar. They're very threatening. You're down flat, your stomach hurts. And it sounds like two are still there, like an escort. If you were to cast a movie about what happens next when you're on the floor, what would you have happen?
This is, in a way, correct. I think that that one day, either in dream state or rationally, I started recollecting this experience. I said to myself that they performed something on my body that was possibly positive in order to pass the trauma of the operation in 1971. And that was a necessary experience in order to well, open my mind up to different territories.
It lets you think about it. Maybe not re-experience it yet, but it lets you think about it. The operation, obviously, was a success. You're here among us.
Yeah, it was a total, complete success, yeah. I remember that when I woke up, instead of waking up in regularly, I was floating in the room and I was upstairs. I was on the, just floating close to the ceiling. And I was watching myself lying on the bed. My mom, my girlfriend, and my brother Claudio were there in the room.
And there you are looking down on yourself.
Yeah, I'm looking down on myself and I say, hey, Maurizio, you're dead, you're floating, you're an angel.
I don't think so, Maurizio.
I was happy. I was actually happy, but they were mourning. Some were. My mom was. No, she was not crying. She was not crying. She was caressing my face, since I had my face. The right side of my face was all bruised, and I was in terrible conditions. And I remember that I was able to see through the wall, and actually behind the wall and in the corridor, emitting to the room, there were, say the least, 15 people, my friends, and we were all in our 20s. So
gathering around Maurizio.
Yeah, they were just expecting me to come back, and I think that was a long wait, because it took me almost 10 hours to get back.
And it sounds like maybe you had an escort. Had you decided to leave your body, you had someone there. They're behind you still? Or have they left?
They're still there.
Mm-hmm. Is it possible that they are the reason you survived your surgery? Both situations seem very similar.
It is tough.
Mm-hmm. From where you are now, knowing that you survived the surgery, if you could write...
I give a title.
What's the title?
Okay. Oh. They saved my ass. That's the title.
That could be.
Mm-hmm.
That could be.
And music saved my ass too.
Mm-hmm.
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 And there is a reason for that. Yeah.
And perhaps it is no accident that they saved your ass for a purpose, and maybe that's what you're doing right now with this magazine.
I'm an instrument.
Is that not a good thing or a good thing?
It's excellent.
Okay,
I feel so good that I'm an instrument.
okay.
Uh,
Gives you kind of a different viewpoint on them.
yeah, I can be a little more objective than many others.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not arrogant. I don't believe that I'm an arrogant researcher. I never said that I have the answers. And in fact, for so many years, I didn't even want probably rationally to go
Mm-hmm.
and revive this.
Mm-hmm. What comes to my mind hearing this is that if you were saved for a purpose, that may be what you're doing now.
There is a part that is not completed. That was not completed then and is not completed now.
Something you have to do? Did you make a deal with them?
I haven't promised anything,
Okay.
and they didn't either. Well,
Feel like you're on track, completing what you need to?
oh, well. The good part of what I'm doing right now is that I am convinced that we're doing good.
Yes.
The bad part is that I don't have the slightest answers of what we are doing.
Maybe you don't need to. It sounds like you have backing from other sources, and that while you're uncomfortable about that, it's nevertheless part of the bargain. Yeah?
Yeah, it could be so.
Once you give permission, and you may or you may not give permission, but once you give permission for it to come back to you in little bits and pieces, you can have troubled sleep for a while, odd thoughts here and there, but once you give permission for it to come back, either slowly or all at once or in a dream, it will come in ways that you can manage. And the fact that you have lived through that experience twice, and this makes 3, you can repetitively go back to lying on the floor with two of them behind you. And each time you go back, you'll get one other piece of the puzzle.
Okay.
And gradually, over time, one day you'll just decide, okay, now I'm going to look at the whole puzzle. And it may emerge in your magazine, it may emerge in your consciousness, or it may only come to you in the sleep state, but you'll get it. Because look how much you've gotten right now.
Okay.
You'll get it. And because you're doing it consciously, you don't have to fear it. You can utilize it.
Okay.
Sounds like you got a team on your side, or you wouldn't even be doing this.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Take a deep breath and tell me how your stomach feels.
Okay.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Yeah, good. It'll come, bit by bit. And when it comes, it will surprise you. You'll do one issue of the magazine, and you'll go look at it, and you'll go, what? All your answers will come to you. Sounds like you've had help. The surgery, you could have lost